Hello, everyone. Welcome to this story. Take a deep breath, settle in, and prepare to journey back in time. Before we begin, take a moment to imagine yourself stepping back in time. Picture the cold stone walls of medieval Europe, the flickering of torchlight, and the weight of fear that hung in the air. This is not just a story about witches. It is a story about people, about belief, and about the dangers of fear itself. The Witch Hunt in Europe, 1450 to 1750. In the shadows of European history, there was a haunting and almost unbelievable era, a time when fear, religion, and social instability intertwined. Tens of thousands of innocent people became victims of merciless trials. From 1450 to 1750, across many parts of Europe, witch hunting was not merely superstition. It became a movement joined by rulers, churches, and communities. People believed witches lurked everywhere: neighbors, friends, even family. A whisper, a failed harvest, a sick child, or a cow's sudden death could be proof. Once hysteria spread, few could remain untouched. We will explore: why did people believe in witches? Who were the victims and hunters? What ended this movement? Why did people believe in witches? To understand witch hunts, we must return to the roots of belief. The Old Testament commanded, "Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live." For medieval Europeans, this was a direct order from God. Witches were seen as allies of the devil, the enemy of mankind. Religion shaped every aspect of life. Fear of the devil was undeniable. To doubt was to defy faith, the church, and God himself. Trials and the peak of witch hunts. When accused, a suspected witch was brought to trial. A single accusation was often enough for arrest. Solid evidence was rarely required. Judges often resorted to torture to uncover the truth. They believed only pain would make witches confess. Methods included water ordeals, witches' marks, and forced confessions. Major trials erupted: Würzburg, Pendle, Salem. In Würzburg, between 1626 to 1631, over 900 people were executed. Entire families perished. Even children were accused. In Pendle, England, 12 villagers, most women, were accused in 1612. The trial records reveal fear and prejudice in every testimony. Across the Atlantic, Salem echoed Europe's hysteria. Neighbors accused neighbors, and paranoia consumed a small community. Why was belief in witches so strong? For people then, the devil was real. Religion dominated life, heightening fear. Social instability led to scapegoats: crop failures, disease, war. Someone had to be blamed. 3/4 of the accused were women. They were often poor, widowed, or socially isolated. The image of the witch was linked to misogyny. Women were seen as weaker, more corruptible. Local courts staged large trials to show loyalty to church and state. Entire villages became part of the process. The decline of witch hunts. By the 17th and 18th centuries, the movement began to fade. The Enlightenment brought reason and science. Scholars questioned torture and superstition. Works like Reginald Scott's The Discovery of Witchcraft and Becker's The World Bewitched exposed flaws in belief. Central governments curbed local trials. Medicine explained disease without blaming witches. Communities slowly realized that scapegoating destroyed trust more than it preserved order. Consequences and legacy. Historians estimate 40,000 to 60,000 were executed. Though small compared to wars, The trauma was immense. Most victims were poor, marginalized women. Families were shattered, communities torn apart. The image of the witch never disappeared. From fairy tales to Halloween, she remains part of culture. Today, witches symbolize wisdom and independence, even feminism. Conclusion. It is hard to believe tens of thousands were burned for a birthmark or rumor. For people of that era, witch belief was reality. Fear and fanaticism silenced reason and justice. The scariest figure was not the witch, but the fearful community itself.